Hi, my name is George Ira Carroll. Thank you so much for taking the time to join me on this video clip here today. For those of you who don't know me, I am trained in NLP or Neuro-Linguistic Programming, hypnotherapy. I'm also a seminar leader and a speaker. And what I want to offer and share with you today is something called self-love. And self-love is so powerful. And when we begin to fall back in love with ourselves, our lives begin to change because, one, our self-esteem and our self-love is in direct correlation with the amount of success that we'll allow ourselves to achieve in our life. And two, it's who we are. I want you to consider the possibility, if you will, that who we are is love, that who we are is a pure essence, and it lies so deep within us, but it is within us all. And you see it in children, don't you? Do you have children? And if you have children, you know exactly what I mean. Those 3, 4, 5-year-old kids just are so fun, so free, so magnetic, so attractive in their beingness that they exude this energy that it just draws attention to them because they're not trying to please anybody. They're not yearning for attention. They're not trying to stand up to anybody else's idea of themselves. They just are. They're just being themselves, and it's magnetic and it's attractive and it's that pure essence flowing through them. And we all have it inside of us. It's all inside of us. And when that pure essence is flowing through, unfiltered, undeleted, undistorted, it flows through in a way that attracts energy, that attracts attention, that attracts people. It's attractive and it's magnetic, and the people who are witnessing want a part of it. And so the idea of self-love isn't this airy-fairy idea. It's something that lies deep within you. And it's a lot of times dormant within people until you begin to search for it, until you begin to dig for it. Back in the 1980s, early 1980s, there was this huge earthquake in Armenia. And the story was written around a family who had just an amazing, amazing story to tell. Because about a year before the earthquake, the family of 3, which was the mother and the father and the child's name was Armand. And a year before the earthquake, the mother died in a horrific and horrendous car accident, just demolishing her body and killing her in an instant. And the son was so distraught and so depressed and so sad from it. The father saw it, he looked him straight in the eye, he said, "Armand, I will always be there for you no matter what. I will always be there for you no matter what." And in that, Armand gained a strength within him. He gained that strength back that allowed him to go out and play and be who he was. You know, he was 7 or 8 years old at the time. But fast forward a year, when the massive earthquake hit the city, and it was 8.2 on the Richter scale. And for some amazing act of faith, act of God, the house that they lived in withstood this earthquake. Everything else around just crumbled to rubble. And the father was in the house at the time. And as soon as the rumble settled and quieted down, his only thought was, "Where's Armand?" At the time, Armand was at school, so the dad ran out of his door and jumped over the rubble, ran 6 blocks down the street just to see that the school had come to a pile of bricks and was just stacked on top of each other. And in that moment, the thought entered the father's mind that he told Armand that he would always be there for him no matter what. And in that thought, he jumped on top of this rubble, this pile of bricks, and he started digging. He started pulling out. He started reaching for rocks and grabbing for rocks and pulling deeper and deeper and deeper. And his hands were being gashed and demolished and scarred from his attempts to discover Armand within this rubble. And as he continued to dig and pull hour after hour after hour, finally after a day of digging, he finally got to a place where he thought he heard something. He heard a sweet voice, and that sweet voice said, "Is someone there?" And the father said, "Armand, is that you?" And Armand said, "Yeah, Dad, it's me. There's 14 of us, and we've got kind of caved in, but we're okay. We're okay. We're surrounded by rocks, but we've made it. We've got kind of concaved in." And the father said, "What do you mean there's 14 of you down there?" He said, "Yeah, Dad, I told all 14 of them that it was going to be okay. They wanted to give up and quit, but I told them to hang in there because my dad said that he was going to be here for us. My dad said that he was going to be there for me. My dad said he would always be there for me." And they rescued Armand, and his dad just embraced him and loved him and held him tightly. And I want to ask you, is there someone deep inside of you worth digging for?